let's get right into it. Let's start talking about LeBron, and let's talk about that finals record. So, as you guys know, LeBron James, in my opinion, is the greatest basketball player to ever set foot on a basketball court. He has, simply put, he has been better for a longer period of time against much stronger competition. And on top of that, his performances in very important situations and in playoff series especially, they're absolutely legendary. However, every single time you mention LeBron is the greatest of all time, or anyone that believes that always has to deal with any sort of other fans or NBA fans or NBA haters of LeBron, that his finals record is 4-6. And a big reason why Michael Jordan is considered the greatest of all time is because Michael Jordan never lost in the finals. But there's never any context to any of these losses. No one ever gives a reason why LeBron lost. No one ever gives the reason why Jordan won all of those finals. The only thing that they talk about and the only thing that they look at is the face value of the record. They don't bother to bring up context, and I feel like context is a very, very important thing when you're talking about sports, not just basketball, in every single sport. And to say that LeBron has a 4-6 record and only look at that as the reason why he's not the best basketball player of all time is not only shallow-minded, but it's completely unfair. Incredibly unfair, and it just gives Jordan an advantage in these kinds of conversations as opposed to LeBron, who gets a disadvantage for something that tends to be out of his control. And we're going to go ahead and talk about that. So a lot of people, whenever they think of LeBron in the postseason, or a lot of LeBron haters, they will always go ahead and look at Ray Allen and Kyrie Irving's clutch three-pointers that helped him win 2 of his 4 NBA titles. And completely ignoring the fact that before Ray Allen hit that three-pointer, LeBron ended up scoring 16 points in that fourth quarter, as well as hitting one of the most important threes to put Ray Allen in that situation to tie the game. And they also forget LeBron dropping a triple-double in that exact same Game 7 that Kyrie Irving hit the game-winning 3 over Stephen Curry. And they completely forget all of that, and they only look at the fact that, oh, Kyrie hit the 3, LeBron got bailed out. Or, oh, Ray Allen hit the 3, LeBron got bailed out. That's the only thing that they look at that. And I'm here to say that there's a lot of context to these finals losses. We're only going to look at his losses because everybody knows that when he won, and no one likes talking about when he won. So I'm going to go ahead and talk about when he lost. So his first finals loss, this was in year 4. In year 4, he lost in the NBA Finals and was forced to go up against the dynasty San Antonio Spurs, who had Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, and Tony Parker, as well as several other fantastic role players on that loaded squad. The Spurs have been good for a very long time for a very good reason, because of Tim Duncan and the rest of the squad that was behind him. And expecting someone who only has 4 years of experience in the NBA to beat a team that had multiple experiences under their belt, as well as have already won a championship before, is just an inhumane kind of task. There's no way that anyone expects any sort of year 4 player to win a title. Do you guys expect Victor to win a title at year 4? I don't think so. Did people expect Giannis to win a title in year 4? I don't think so. Did people expect Kobe to win a title in year 4 without the help of Shaq? I don't think so. Shaq didn't even win in the span of 4 years. And there's so many other players that it's like, it takes time and it takes a very fantastic team. Expecting somebody in year 4 of their career to go up against a dynasty caliber team is inhumane. It's completely inhumane. It's unfair. And that's final series number 1 that he lost. Second final series that he lost was, of course, the Dallas Mavericks. And I'm not going to talk about that series because everybody who is anybody knows about that final series. Everyone knows that LeBron didn't play well. Everyone knows that he was the reason why the Miami Heat ended up losing in that finals. And to that, I say, yes, he is the reason why they lost in the finals. However, people always forget, whenever they compare him to Jordan, that there were times where Jordan didn't make the finals. There were also times when Jordan came back from retirement, they give him the excuse that he wasn't at 100%, despite the fact that he was averaging 30 points in the finals and still lost. Yet, he doesn't get blamed for that. He doesn't get blamed for that early exit in the postseason. Meanwhile, if LeBron does that, he gets blamed for the loss entirely, and you'll see why later. Next time they lost, after winning back-to-back with the Miami Heat, they matched up against the Spurs again. This time, the starting lineup on the Spurs was so incredibly balanced, and the lineup was so ridiculous that you could have picked Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker, or even Kawhi Leonard to win the Finals MVP that year, and everyone would have been fine with that. Not to mention the San Antonio Spurs, they were shooting the absolute lights out in that game. And part of when you're a team that takes a lot of threes, part of winning is down to luck. And I'm sorry to say this, but yes, part of winning in these kinds of series, when you take a bunch of threes like that, it's going to be down to luck. Look at what happened again when the Houston Rockets went up against the Golden State Warriors in 2018. Houston Rockets, they were one game away from closing out the Warriors in the series. Then Chris Paul gets hurt, and then they missed 27 straight three-pointers. That is incredibly unlucky, because if they would have hit at least 2 or maybe 3 three-pointers in that span where they missed 27 straight, they would have ended up winning that game. So you live by the 3, you die by the 3. In this matchup, they ended up living by the 3. It also did not help that Dwayne Wade in that playoff series averaged 15 points along with 3 turnovers while only averaging 2 assists. And Bosh was only averaging 14 points in that playoff series. So the big 3 and the stacked team that everyone said that LeBron had in that finals did not show up and failed to show up. I mean, you're not going to win a series when your second best player is playing really bad, averaging 15 points and more turnovers than assists. That's just not going to happen. Meanwhile, LeBron is out there averaging 28 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists, somewhere around that category. I forget exactly what the numbers were, but he did average 28 points in that series. Yet, people still blame him for losing that playoff series. Then, in the first finals matchup, when he returned to Cleveland and matched up against the Golden State Warriors for the first time, LeBron averaged 36, 13, and 9 against the Warriors, but Kyrie Irving was injured, leaving LeBron with the rest of the Cavs lineup to go up against Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, along with Harrison Barnes as well as a very solid option, and Andre Iguodala, who ended up winning the Finals MVP. That is an incredibly stacked team, and I don't think anyone should expect one player averaging 36, 13, and 9 to win the series. Clearly, it was not LeBron's fault, averaging 36, 13, and 9. If you think it's LeBron James' fault for losing that finals, then you have to argue with a wall. I don't understand how you could think that. Then, the team, when they were healthy, ended up beating that exact same Warriors team that beat them the previous year by coming back 3-1. What does Golden State do? They get Kevin Durant. And a 73-9 team with Kevin Durant on the roster, there is no team in the history of basketball that was going to beat that team. Absolutely none. And there was none at the time that was able to beat that Golden State Warriors team. LeBron in that series averaged 34, 12, and 10, became the first player in NBA history to average a triple-double in the finals. And he lost because Kevin Durant was averaging 32 points alongside with the starting lineup consisted of Steph, Klay, and Draymond Green. That is an unfair matchup. You can't expect anyone to win against that team. Then it's the same story in 2018 because LeBron in that 2018 final series averaged 34, 9, and 10, almost a triple-double again. But now he didn't have Kyrie on the roster because Kyrie ended up requesting a trade that sent him to Boston in 2018. And again, you cannot expect one player to be able to beat 4 Hall of Famers all in their prime in the exact same series. It's inhumane. The team was just so ridiculously talented compared to the Cavs team that had LeBron. Not to mention the fact that the Cavs actually could have won Game 1, but for some reason J.R. Smith decides to walk out because he thinks that they were up. How can you blame LeBron for that? Why does LeBron get any kind of blame for these kinds of losses? The only time when LeBron should be blamed for a loss in the finals was in 2011. Aside from that, every other final series that he's played in was incredibly unfair. There was no even playing field. He had to go up against the Dynasty Spurs when he was in his 4th year. You're not going to be able to win. You're like, he was 18 years old when he got drafted. So 4 years, that's roughly 21, 22 years old going up against a dynasty. Like, seriously, you expect a 22 or a 21-year-old to win against a dynasty? I don't think so. Then, in the matchup with I'm just reiterating what I said, against Golden State, he was the only player in the first final series that actually played good. And then in the last 2 years where he lost against Golden State, the team was just ridiculously stacked. I mean, it's an unfair comparison, and it's unfair to LeBron that he's the one that gets blamed for these losses, and everyone looks at these finals losses as his fault, saying, "Oh, he's 4-6 in the finals," as if he could have done anything about it, because he tried to do everything about it, but it still just proved ineffective. So that's all that I had to say. This segment was a long time coming, as you guys know how I feel about LeBron James. So that's it for the first segment. Now we're going to go ahead and go into our preseason recap, where I mainly focus on the Golden State Warriors game against the Kings, because this could spell some good news for Golden State. So I'll be right back after this short break. Be sure to stay tuned.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift. Oh.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody